Hello, everybody. Hello, Brandon.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us this week. We know we were away last week. We apologize. Hello, Miguel. Hey, Naomi. Hi, Will. Hi, Andrea. I don't think I'm missing anyone. I don't think, but thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for coming on. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good here. I am taking on a new, I guess, I don't know if you call it a diet. It's more of a new lifestyle.
Okay.
So for those of you, y'all might have heard of it. I'm doing the paleo lifestyle. So not eating anything processed, no sugars, no any kind of sugar besides, whatever's in natural foods. So I'm honestly really excited because I've read so many things about how it helps, with sleep, how it helps with your brain and clearing up any brain fog, helping with good energy. And honestly, so I'm doing a little experiment here. I'm going to see how much more active my psychic senses are with eliminating some of this processed foods.
Yeah.
Psychism is a natural phenomenon. It's something that occurs naturally to us, right? Like you didn't have to do anything for it to happen. It just happened.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of doing a little experiment to see how much more receptive I am, when I eliminate these other things out of my energy, out of my life. So I'm taking that on. I'm pretty excited. It takes a little bit of extra work, but I'm honestly ready for it. How are you doing, Kathy?
I'm doing good. You know what? It's funny though, because as you're talking about that, I'm thinking about like what I eat and all of that stuff. And I literally eat like very little that is processed. Like pretty much, we don't eat out. I mean, once in a very, very blue moon,
Yeah.
we might order in or something like that. Not allowed in restaurants right now. So it is what it is. Here in Canada, the prison of the world. So I can't go into a restaurant, so once in a while we'll order in. But it's funny, I don't eat anything with sugar. I haven't touched sugar in, I don't even know. I used to have, so my coffee is like 3 cream. Okay. Like I put a lot of cream, but I used to put like half a sugar in it. And then they started just dumping it in, and then it just got too sweet. And I don't even like, it's funny because I actually have to dig around for sugar. Like if it's baking or something like that, if I bake something, I'm like, I don't even know if I have sugar in the house. Like I actually have to go and dig for it. So, and Dre doesn't, eat anything like most of the food, like I literally cook just about everything. Poor kid. But let's hope he marries somebody who knows how to cook something. So it was funny. I have to tell you guys this. So I am a very plain eater. I am like a salt and pepper type of chick, right? Like that's it. Like that's my spices, garlic, maybe, I'm very plain. So my kid, he's like, can you make this chicken for me? But we went and bought all these spices, and he's like, just throw everything in the bag and I'll eat it. So there was like cayenne pepper, Cajun spice, Cajun pepper, or Cajun whatever, I don't know, Cajun something, Italian seasoning, black pepper, onion, salt. And I was just like, well, how much? And he's like, I don't know, just throw a whole bunch in the bag. And this kid ate it without even flinching. I don't know how he does that, because I don't think he's my child, but whatever. But anyway, otherwise, in general, yeah, I'm really good. So you guys, I actually, we've got this, like we were talking about just before the show, Brandon and I were talking about like the new moon is here. We're going through like the end of retrograde. Like we've got all kinds of, wackadoodle energy going on right now, and me talking about Canada, I mean, tensions are woohoo, like up here. There's all kinds of crap that's heading our way, in our way, all around us, all of this stuff. So it was interesting because I was talking to my cousin last week, and as you know, we've talked about grounding exercises here before on the show, and how to get into grounding and how to ground yourself. But one of the things that I actually learned, and I love this because I was like, oh my God, this is such a great exercise, and I want to teach it to you guys. So within our soul, we know what is good for us, and we know what is negative for us, and we know what belongs to us, and we know what doesn't belong to us. It's our consciousness that interferes with that at times. Okay. It's our consciousness that gets in the way. It's our ego that steps in and kind of says, oh no, you can do that anyway, or whatever it is. And so this interesting exercise that I learned is, it's basically put your hands across your chest. And I mean, it's better if we stand up, but I don't want to because I'm actually wearing pajama pants right now. So there's my little secret. But you basically, you put your hands across your chest and you ask a question. So this is going to be, should I eat this? Should I try this? Should I do this? Is this good for me? Is this healthy for me? Should I message this person? Should I do this? Should I, that kind of energy? Or you just ask that question. Now, you can do a test question. So you can ask your body, show me yes. It's very much like a pendulum, except it's within your body. So you can ask yourself, show me yes. And more than likely, you'll probably go forward. Show me no. Chances are you may go back. But this will tell your body, this will tell you where that energy is. And then you ask that question. So you say, should I eat this hamburger? Okay, well, if you go back, that's your soul telling you, no, don't eat this burger. Or you can ask yourself, should I go here today? Or should I do this? Like it's those little things. It's like when we're making those decisions that are difficult sometimes for us to make, maybe sometimes we want to go, your friends might invite you out, but you're kind of in that, I'm not really up to it. But then your mind is like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Should I go? Should I not? Should I go? Should I? Ask your soul, is this a good thing for me to do tonight? Chances are it's that first response that you're hearing in your head, but your ego is going to try to get ahead of that and change that decision, right? So when you ask yourself, okay, should I go tonight? And you're leaning forward or you're leaning back. Here's the interesting thing. So sometimes, like we don't know what's under the surface. We've talked about this before too. So your body may say, yeah, go. And you're like, okay, well, why should I go? Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Your soul's telling you to go. So maybe that's the night you're going to meet somebody. Maybe that's the night that you'll get a contract for work. Maybe that's the night you'll meet somebody prestigious, or, or maybe that there's going to be whatever it is, right? Because we don't know. And sometimes we get those little things in our heads that saying, we should go do this. And then we fight with ourselves. I don't know how many times I have followed my instinct and been led to crazy things where I'm just like, okay, I knew I was supposed to, like, there was this one time not that long ago, actually about it last year, I think it was beginning of last year, where I went to, I had this feeling to go to Walmart, which was really weird. But I was like, I'm just sitting there on the couch and I was like, I got to go to Walmart. I don't know why, but I was going to go pick up some stuff later, like when my son was out of school. And then I was like, no, I got to go now. I just got to go now. So I'm there and, I'm getting my stuff, doing whatever. And this lady all of a sudden comes running down the aisle, screaming with a child in her hand, in her arms. And this kid's starting to turn blue. And she's being followed by a bunch of other employees. I don't know why the hell it was like a parade, but it was weird. But anyway, she landed, like stopped right in front of me. And I took this kid and I kind of, hit the back of him, and that seemed to get him to start breathing. He wasn't choking though. Turned out actually he had a fever. Interesting enough, this was right at the beginning of COVID, like right before the pandemic. But he couldn't breathe. I guess he had such a high fever that he was losing consciousness. And So while this woman is screaming, I'm holding the kid and I'm phoning 911 because nobody had phoned 911, and it was a whole big thing. Anyway, as it turns out, I mean, this was obviously why I needed to be there at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
And, sometimes we don't listen to our inner selves. We, again, it's almost like like a blockage, like our ego will come in front of us and say, oh no, you don't need to go do that. Or, sometimes we'll feel maybe I should apologize to this person, or maybe I should do this, or maybe I should say that, whatever it is, but our ego will interfere with that. And so if you're struggling with that ego, or if you're struggling with those decisions, asking your soul, what is the next step, will
Mhm.
really help.
Absolutely, because that soul, arguably is the part of us that is connected to everyone and everything else. We may feel very individual and separate in our physical body, but it's the soul that gets that sort of highlight of being interconnected. And so when you listen to your own soul, you
Hmm.
listen to those motives that and are connected to a source that just knows better, plain and
It knows
simple.
that it knows, yeah. And instead, sometimes we're listening to our friends or our parents, or,
Yeah.
the neighbor down the street, or somebody, on Facebook, or whatever it is. Like,
Hmm.
we're not listening to ourselves. And when we start listening to ourselves and our higher self, most especially, that is where we're going to find that clarity that is trying to come through to us.
Yeah.
Death of Dragons, yeah, following your intuition is, he says, following your intuition is usually the right choice. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's our ego that gets in the way of that.
100%.
So
I have this vision now when you're talking about this, and I'm just seeing somebody going like back and forth, looking a little crazy.
what do I
Yes, no,
do?
yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
Yeah,
But honestly, that's the brain. That's going to be the brain. The
that's
brain's
going to
going to
be the
bounce
brain. Yeah,
back and forth, or between the brain and the heart. You're going to bounce back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
yeah,
When you just listen to that soul, that's going to be the most direct, positive, successful action to take, or decision to
absolutely.
make, is when you listen to the soul, the intuition, however you label it.
And then
Um,
eventually too, you won't have to actually do that. You'll just,
right.
because you're going to start listening, because you're going to realize, it's usually that first thing that you hear within your mind that
Hmm.
is leading you forward.
Yeah.
But again, because our brains are, activating at some crazy speed,
Hmm.
we're getting, all kinds of diverse messages, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's a great time um, to learn to do this, and to even practice this exercise like we were talking about with the new moon today. New moon is in Libra. So, for example, for me, I'm changing my relationship with food, with what I
Right.
consume, with what goes inside of my body. Um, I'm really just changing the whole relationship with my body and taking on better, healthier decisions. But anything that kind of falls under the scope of relationship right now is a really good time to plant those seeds today. How you relate to yourself, the relationship you have with your own self,
Hmm.
that's going to affect you more than you may realize. It's going to affect every relationship you have. It's going to affect the coworkers, the
Absolutely.
significant others, the parents, the children, everything. So, taking that into account, anything that you want to plant as far as relationships go, today's definitely the day to do that. And of course, I'm sure we will have relationship questions at some point today in the
I'm
show.
sure we will.
So, for those of you who are listening on Facebook, those of you listening on I Want to Believe, please pop on over to Oracle Intuition's YouTube page if you want to submit a question. That way I can get it on my end and I can put you on our list. As you may know, we do have a donation priority list, as well as our lottery list. We choose readings by lottery just to give everybody a fair chance. But some people absolutely need to have a reading today, right now. Let's do it. If that is you, if you need priority, you can, of course, donate by following the scroll at the bottom or the info tab. You can send to PayPal or e-transfer to Kathy in Canada. And that $10 minimum donation will put you on our priority list. If you donate underneath $10, we'll give you multiple numbers in our lottery to give you a better chance to win that lottery. So we do appreciate all of y'all's donations here and supporting this channel. It goes far. We're constantly trying to update, pay for all of these services that we have to use. So, you guys are helping us keep the show running. That's what it's all about. This beautiful cyclical relationship we have with y'all.
And we just appreciate you guys coming on and supporting us, watching us every week. It's always a pleasure to be here. We can add Andrea to the list as well, please, if you don't mind.
Right.
Awesome. Now I know Nami said that we do have a list going. I know that Nami said that she had to take her kid to volleyball practice. Is Miguel here? Miguel, are you watching?
Miguel and Nami. If not, we can always just keep tab of.
Oh, Nami's still here. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
And I know that we do have a one just before you guys, but Nami, I got to ask you a weird question. I don't know if it's for you or Miguel. This is just a bizarre question. This is not going to be your reading, but when I was trying to tap into your energy earlier, I could feel you guys coming through because I'd seen the PayPal come through. And I don't know if this is associated with you guys or not. You can, if it's not, that's fine. We'll just let it go. Whatever. It's not your reading, but I saw this thing and I have to ask you about it. Is there something to do with a doll between either one of you? I don't know whose energy it is. It could be Nami's, it could be Miguel's. I literally saw like a doll and I don't know what that has to do with. It almost felt like it could be like one of those older dolls. It could have something to do with a doll. I don't know if you guys are watching a movie with dolls. I literally just saw a doll and I don't know why that popped through. So if it has nothing to do with you guys, it basically what it does is it helps me just kind of clear that energy so that I can go into, your readings. Okay. So Nami says she has no clue. So I don't know why this older doll, it literally reminded me of like one of those things that you would see. I don't want to say it with like Annabelle, but I want to say like one of those older dolls. No, I don't think anyone's doing voodoo on you. It literally just popped into my mind. So I wasn't sure what that had to do with. It could possibly be some sort of relative that might be trying to come through. So I'm just going to kind of sit with that energy for a few minutes. And see if anything else, pops in or something like that. But I just had to ask because sometimes I get these visions and if I don't clear the vision, it can stay, within my energy. And I don't want to do that if it has nothing to do with you. Oh, okay. Yeah. Creepy. Maybe it'll come up somehow. And when it does, I'll let you know. Yeah, definitely do because, I was reminded of like kind of like one of those haunted dolls, but not really a haunted doll, if that makes any sense. Like it didn't feel haunted. It was just like one of those older fashioned type of dolls that just popped in from who the heck knows where. So, all right. Okay. Also, can you add Jenny to the list as well, please, if you don't mind? Sorry.
All right. So if y'all are donating, you've already donated, please submit your questions in the chat here so I can put you up on the list.
So we did have did you want to organize this first or do you want to take a break or do you want to come back to the readings in a minute?
Maybe take a quick break to let everybody submit their question.
Okay.
Because you said Andrea, you got something from Andrea.
Andrea and Jenny. Yeah. And then we have one just before Miguel and Nami that was submitted privately. So,
okay.
Hi, Lucinda. All right.
So make sure if you have donated, and even if not, if you're just going to be on our lottery list, go ahead and put your first name, your date of birth or zodiac sign, and your question in the chat so I can organize all of that during the break. I will put you all on our list respectively. If you did donate, make sure you just let us know in the chat as well. So I need a question from Andrea. I've got you, Jenny. And then you'll have to give me Jessica's question.
Yeah, I'll give you Jessica's question when we come back. So guys, give us just 3 minutes. We will be right back, and don't go away.
Put your questions in. Put your questions in.
You betcha.
In the chat. Oracle Intuitions YouTube.
All right. We'll see you in a minute. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so Jessica's question that she had asked earlier.
Yes.
It was okay, so Jessica's a Pisces, Tim is a Taurus. And she would like to know, really just a general, what you're picking up. She wants to know if this is done, if it's going to move forward, what is happening, will he be back, all of those, I guess, questions, whatever you're picking up. So guys, the reason that I'm not answering is because she is a friend of mine, and I've already given her my take on everything. So I'm going with Brandon at this moment, simply because, you know, he's not involved, I guess. I'm not involved, but you know what I mean. It's good to hear that second opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a moment, Jessica. Let me connect here. Make sure we're not getting any feedback. I heard a little bit for a second there. Let me just pull Tim's energy. Okay. So the first thing that I'm being shown
That's my
is...
phone.
Oh,
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
okay. First thing I'm being shown here is distance. I'm definitely being shown distant, and it's like Spirit keeps showing me they throw this big heart in between the two of you, in between your two energy, and they're showing me there's this very clear emotional love kind of connection, but they're showing me this distance with it, and they're also showing me this heart being cut. I do feel a lot of heartache in the energy between the two of you. I do feel like pain. I do feel as if, just connecting with the both of you, it's just like, oh, it feels like my heart has been ripped to pieces. And perhaps it is due specifically to that distance that I'm being shown, to that energy of the distance here. But when I'm looking specifically into Tim, I feel Tim being in this energy of like this really intense breakdown. Spirit keeps showing me his intuition crumbling, and this is a very weird vision. It reminds me of like a tower card, right? Like the tower in tarot. And I just keep seeing like the two of you have like this intuitive connection, and they're showing me that he is like obliterating his own intuition right now, which is absolutely going to impede on the connection between the two of you. That heart that I was being shown, that open heart here, it's totally going to impede on any part of that, any layer of that connection. So it feels like Tim is the one that is creating the distance with the heart and creating the sort of cut stabbing feelings here. So it really seems like this is a difficulty. Let me ask, what's to come in the future between the two of you, just so I can get a better idea of maybe where you should focus and what you should be doing. Okay, so immediately what they're showing me is that everything is like clouded. Everything between the two of you is unclear. It's extremely ambiguous, and there is no sense of definition. So this is absolutely has to be your decision here, Jessica, of how you want to handle this. If you're okay with being in connections with somebody who is tearing their own selves apart, but if you're also okay with a connection that has no definition whatsoever and is completely ambiguous, then this is the connection for you. If you do not want that kind of connection, then you would have to make that choice to sever and separate yourself, because the more that you remain connected with this energy, the more that you're going to feel those stabs, that cutting of the heart. It's so clear that you do have this like natural intuitive draw and bond and connect with each other, but the fact that he's not keeping it up on his end, it forces anything that would ever exist between the two of you in a relationship onto you. But here's the thing, you wouldn't even be in any sense of mutuality in the relationship, because you would just be... So it's literally like you being in a relationship with yourself by remaining linked to Tim. So it's totally up to you. I don't feel that he's going to have this totally degraded intuition forever. But I do feel this being his state of being for quite a while. I mean, at least a year, maybe 2 years. Like, he's in this really weird place right now. So again, that's up to you, and that's up to your own decision on how you want to be in relationship with somebody. But honestly, if you were talking to me and you were sitting right in front of me and you asked me as a friend and as a person, I would be like, yo, girl, this person is not receiving you the way that you're receiving them. Like, there's things are totally off balance. So you need to pull yourself back and make him step up. Like, if it was a friend to friend kind of, I would absolutely tell you that. And I figure I could say that because you are friends with Kathy, and by proxy, you're friends with me. So, really evaluate, what you're doing in all of this, because the energy is quite challenging right now. And it is going to result in more cuts feelings and more difficulties here. So really, really step back and evaluate what you're doing. Again, I'll reiterate, if you like ambiguous and lack of definition in your relationship, then you're good to go. But if that's something you need, then you really need to reconsider here.
Yeah, it's interesting actually that you had said the Tower card, because when I am getting feedback.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Right? I need a rocking chair. I have pulled the Tower card actually several times. It keeps it said that this Tower moment. So, I know that Jessica knows my take on it. And I have said, you got to just take a step back. Just take, like, it literally, you have to take that step back, because this energy that is between the two is so like that. And it without taking that step back and removing the energy, there's no clearing that can happen. So it needs to clear, it needs to integrate itself in the way that it's supposed
It
to.
needs a phoenix-like transformation right now.
That's
Like,
exactly it, right? And I feel like, her working on herself, him working on himself, getting, it's almost as though the energy is just mashed together, but it's not mashed together in a positive way. And sometimes we do see that, where it comes together and it creates something truly beautiful. But right now, because there's so much hurt and pain and negativity and different things, that it makes it very difficult. And so you need to take that step back and really focus in on you, and doing so will help that energy for Tim to do what he needs to do.
yeah.
And, I just feel like as soon as she cuts that cord, I'm getting the feedback.
I keep hearing something. That
My feedback.
I don't hear it this time, thankfully. I keep hearing, Jessica, and I don't know how accurate or valid or whatever it is. I'll just say what I hear is that Jessica needs to remember what it's like to connect to somebody normal again. I don't know why, but I just keep
Oh my
hearing
God.
that.
See, you know what? And this is exactly what I've been saying, is because it's not, it's difficult, because she's trying to put a normal behavior onto somebody who's not normal.
Okay.
Okay. Because there's so much
That makes sense.
narcissism and ego in this man.
That makes sense.
So
Okay.
much. And it's literally, what the hell is going on with my thing here? It's literally creating, and that's where that wall comes in, is because of that narcissism, his own ego. He thinks of only himself. It's only him, Tim. That's all he thinks. And
Oh, no wonder I'm seeing
no,
that
right.
intuition crumble.
Yeah. And so, it's almost as though he's created his own path, and that path isn't good, because he's not listening to his own insight. He's not listening to the intuition that's coming through. He's not listening to the guidance that's coming in. Tim is thinking about him.
Yeah,
And
that's a
only him.
surefire way to cut out any information from the soul. And especially if you have a connection at that level, oh my God, of course you're gonna end up hurting you in some way.
That's just it, especially when there's that soul connection and one of them is just focused on them. Then what happens is it creates pure havoc, usually
Oh,
for that
girl, trust
person.
me, I know exactly what Kathy's talking about, and she
Yeah,
knows what she's talking about. Trust me.
and it creates pure havoc for that one person. But what it does is that energy will escape to the other, and they will feel these different energy links, because it's coming in not as a clear signal, or a clear tube, or whatever you want to, however you want to imagine it. It comes in as literally like a bunch of electrical cords that are just smushed, and there's no clarity. And so when she takes that step back and starts really focusing on that energy, towards her and around her, this is what will help clear that connection with Tim wherever
Absolutely.
that's supposed to go.
Yep.
And, but it will make that difference, because it basically allows the individuals to really work on themselves. But you know what? Here's the interesting thing, because he's the one that's blocking, the connection and the intuition. His life's probably going to go to shit, like slowly. And that's what we have talked about, with her in the past, or I mentioned to her in the past, is like, he's not picking a good road. Not that saying that he has to be with her or anything else, but he's picking disastrous, bad connections externally around him. And so what that is
Mm,
doing is it's creating his own havoc.
got it. Okay.
And because she's connected, she needs to take that step aside in order for him to stay in his own,
Yeah, you know what it's like?
literally, right?
It's like a person who's in a runaway car, right? And Tim is the car, and Jessica is tied to a string dragging behind the car. Like, that's what happens when you attach yourself to an energy that is out of control like that, where they are self-focused, they're only seeing through ego. They're driving off all over the road going 80 miles an hour, or,
Right,
100
right.
kilometers an hour, whatever it is in Canada. I don't know, 110 maybe. And you're literally on a string, being dragged by your feet, hanging out for dear life, getting road rage, getting scrapes,
Mhm.
running into cacti, whatever, trees. Like, that's what it's like. That's what it's like when you attach yourself to an energy that's
But
totally
here's
out
the
of
thing,
control.
as soon as you really remove yourself, if you cut that cord that's
Mm.
attached to the back of the car, now you can focus in on you. You can
Yep.
focus in on what it is that you need to do for you. And it really does clear up the energy between the two of you. And it allows possibly that new beginning to come in and,
Mhm.
start moving forward in some way. It may be like starting at the beginning, but
Mhm.
or re-getting to know each other or whatever it is, but it's going to be a better connection in there.
It sounds
And
like there's a lot of fear-based connection right now. I'm
well, and
afraid
then
of.
drinking and other, substances, for Tim don't help. And
Oh, yeah,
they
that's.
basically, again, when people are drinking, especially if they're heavy drinkers or whatever, they're not thinking as a, you can't compare A to B. You can't compare this person to that person. It's they're you can't compare somebody who's drunk to somebody who's sober in their mind
Mhm.
state. You cannot do that. It's alcoholism, for instance, or drug abuse is ego based. No matter how whatever underneath conditions somebody may have, or whatever their reason for doing what it is that they're doing, it is ego based. And they're drinking in order to block out their own senses, their own intuition, their own thoughts, their own happiness, but it's a diluted sense of happiness that they were going to drink from substances, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, I'm not
Absolutely.
talking about, having a drink a couple times a week or anything like that. I'm talking like somebody who is an alcoholic
Abuse.
or
Abuse.
abusive, right, towards a
Yeah.
substance. And so it blocks that connection, and it blocks their own connection to anything that is, coming through
Mhm.
intuitively, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Gotta be
so I
careful of that
do.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I feel like as soon as, she takes that step back, things are going to it starts a clearing and a cleansing process that is needed for the both of them at this point.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so I hope that helps, Jess.
Yeah,
Big
good
hug.
luck. My goodness. It's a
Yeah,
tough situation.
it is. Um, okay, so let's go to who wants to go
Miguel is
first,
up
Mamie or
next.
Miguel?
Well,
Let's go
Miguel
with
put
Miguel.
his question in the chat first, so
Okay,
I put
sure.
him up first.
Okay.
All right, so we'll do Miguel, then Nami, then Andrea, and then Jenny. For those of you that are just coming in and joining us, welcome, welcome. If you do want to ask a question for Kathy and I to answer, a psychic question here, go ahead and go over to the Oracle Intuitions YouTube page and put your question in that chat. You might have to wait 5 minutes just to put in the chat, but that's okay. We do that to eliminate the trolls. So go ahead and just put that in the chat there, and we will be good to go. I'll put you on our list respectively. All right, so Miguel is up. Miguel is a Taurus, of course. He says, I'm here for a general reading, and what messages my guides are wanting to tell me.
Okay. All right. I really feel like you're trying to hold things together, Miguel, in some way. This is a stronger energy than before. It feels like there's been a bit of a relief in something, or perhaps some sort of strength that came towards you in some way. It feels like a more I almost want to say the word grounded, but it's a little bit more than that. It feels like you have it's a more masculine energy now. Like it always has been. You always have that masculine energy about you, but this is a little bit different. It feels like you're a little bit stronger emotionally, stronger. I'm hearing intuitively, actually, too. I feel like you've been having to oh, good. The house clearing is going to start. Okay. So I think that's clearing the land, I believe, right? So, okay. Because it feels now like you're ready to go. Like, I don't know how to explain this exactly. In a bag. Oh, she's so sweet, Amy. Oh, I love you guys. You guys are like so like you guys are just such a great couple. I really adore you. But I just feel like I don't know how to explain this. Just give me a second to just kind of get that vision down for a minute. It literally feels like somehow inside of you, your strength has increased. There's more positivity about moving forward. I do get a little bit of energy of where you're trying to hold everything together, trying to hold everything still up. I almost feel who's that guy that holds the world on the back of his head? Is that Atlas?
Oh, yeah.
Atlas, I think. It almost feels a little bit like that energy, like you're stronger, but there's still this bit of this world that you're holding, on your back a little bit. So I think that's going to go into more of Namie's reading. I'll get to that in a second. But what I'm getting from you, Miguel, is keep going. It truly is not only the clearing, but it's like you're home. You're about to go home. You're about to, that clearing of the land. It feels very much like, I just want to keep saying home. I want to keep saying like you're going to be building your Amy. She's got this little like that. It's so cute. It's like you're building your foundation is what I want to keep saying. You're building your home. You're building your foundation. Like things are coming together. Like Jenny says, at peace. Yeah, it feels more a little bit at peace. Again, there still is this, this world or this, I don't want to call it a weight because it doesn't feel like a weight. A weight is something that is burdensome. This feels more like the world, and it almost feels as though, this is containing love, it's containing leadership, it's containing husbandry, it's containing like all of those things that, a man usually tries to, carry with him. Okay. And so it doesn't feel like it's a burden, but it does feel like you're trying to hold, everything kind of together right now. And I hope that makes sense. Okay. Everything is starting to come together. And that's exactly what you need. It's like building that foundation. You're really building that foundation. And I don't want to, so I'm kind of going to go into Namie a little bit, because this I feel is part of Namie's question, but it contains the both of you. So I do feel that you will more than likely either move this month or at the very beginning of next month. Like this feels very, very soon. Okay. Very, very soon, Namie. I do feel that there is still some stress around you and maybe possibly the situation of where you are right now. And I know that Miguel is trying to kind of be the holding everything together. It's kind of like I said, holding everything together right now. So I do get that sense. And what I'm getting here is that as you guys move forward, it's not that you guys aren't doing a teamwork, because you so much are. But I am getting a little bit of, there has to be a little bit more connective teamwork, okay? Because it kind of feels a little bit, Namie, like you're sort of panicking a little bit, but these aren't things that you really need to panic about. You don't need to worry about. You don't need to really stress about. I really feel like a lot of stress has been relieved for you, and this is really going to help. So as that stress relief, comes through more and more throughout this next little while, you're going to really see that this connective teamwork can really come into play. And it really feels like the both of you, it's interesting because, new moon, in Libra, but I'm literally seeing the scales at a balanced energy. So do I feel that you guys are going to move this month? I do feel like it could be either this month or, like I said, maybe possibly early into next month. But it just feels like, Namie, I really want to say, don't panic about the things that you don't need to panic about. Okay. It's interesting because I keep seeing you with headphones on. So maybe this is like, for you to maybe just take more walks with the headphones, maybe, just play some music that will make you happy. Maybe, just do something, that will help, whether it's meditation, whatever. Binaural beats are really good. Play something that is going to bring you into a place of peace and calm and relaxed energy, because I do feel it's almost as though Miguel is sort of around you, okay, like trying to hold you together. And I don't feel like you need to be held together, because you can do this very well on your own. And it will help take off some of the burden of that energy between the two of you. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that helped. And so Namie says, yes, a peacekeeper. It's difficult living at my mom's. Sometimes Miguel and I get frustrated with each other, but then we realize it's because of all the stress and wanting to move and have your space. Exactly. And so keep that vision in mind. Keep that vision in mind as you're moving forward. And just put yourself in that place, because you will really see that change in that energy between the two of you. It will really help. So, before I let Brandon talk, I do see that there's somebody on Facebook who's watching. If you can go on to the YouTube channel at Oracle Intuitions YouTube, all right, and because we cannot see you if you're watching on Facebook or through the I Want to Believe channel, or I can see you, but Brandon can't. So if you go to the Oracle Intuitions YouTube channel, you will see that we'll be able to see you and get your question down. Remember, if you want to absolutely make sure that you are getting a reading, it's a $10 donation. The banner across the top tells you how you can donate, where to donate to, and that will guarantee you a reading for tonight. If not, we do put you into the lottery list, which if we have time at the end of the night, we will pull for the lottery. Okay, so Brandon, I'm gonna let you talk.
All right. So I don't know how much more there is for me to say that Kathy really hasn't already nailed down here. I'll just reiterate, the energy that I'm feeling from you, Miguel. It's this very clear sense of you making the best out of things no matter what happens. That is coming through really, really strong right now in your energy. And I feel like that's important, not only for yourself, but where you and both Namie are in the situation that you are currently in. it just feels really important. It feels really important to have this disposition. I feel like it's natural to you. I feel like it's a part of you. So really hang on to that. Really embrace that energy. It's really good place to be. Now, the one thing I'm being shown for you to kind of be aware of, the spirit keeps showing me that there's some kind of friction coming in the way of communication outside of yourself. Somebody bringing you some kind of message or something that feels a little frustrating. It could even be to the point where it's almost abusive to you. So it's really important to keep your own energy grounded right now. So stuff like that doesn't come in and throw off this general sunny disposition that you do have. I'm not feeling specifically the source. I'm not able to pinpoint it. The only thing Spirit keeps showing me is just beware of somebody throwing something onto you that is outside of yourself, your own inner circle here. Somebody who comes from the outside and who's trying to disrupt. Just be very aware of that. Be very, very aware of that. I think that's why you need to be in this positive energy space right now. Just so that way nothing throws off any of the energy that you and, both Naomi, of course, are trying to cultivate here. Kathy, did you go into Naomi's reading?
A little bit. I think Naomi just asked whether or not she was moving this week.
Okay.
Or this month, sorry.
This month. Okay, yeah. If you don't mind, we can just kind of jump right into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As well here, since we're kind of pulling the both of them together. Okay, so Naomi, moving this month still possible would help to ease my anxiety. So I am actually being shown that things are a little bit ambiguous. What Spirit keeps showing me is that you're dealing with something or someone who is quite unreliable, who isn't being fully fully present. It's like one moment they're standing there and then you turn around and you come back and the next they're like gone. You're like, where the hell did they go? Like, what the hell is going on? So what I keep being shown is to sort of hold back the energy of full initiation. You don't want to initiate right now. You want to receive, right? I know that might sound counterintuitive based on the process of what you're doing, which is moving, pushing yourself into a new place. But you have to remember, you and Miguel have developed a relationship with this space, with this land, with the home and the home that you're going to, either add or build or however you're doing it. And you got to wait for the land to be ready. I know that this sounds so weird. I know it sounds so weird, but trust me, you'll understand it once you finally get there. Don't be surprised if it doesn't happen this month based on what I'm picking up on. But even if it didn't, so I am feeling it's near the end of October, beginning of November, and I keep for whatever reason seeing like the 9th. I don't know why. Maybe just hang on to that for a moment, but you have to be ready for the land to welcome you and to receive you. Again, I know that sounds super weird, but just try not to initiate right now as far as making the push and moves forward. And not to mention, we're in like 50 different retrogrades right now too. So everything is kind of taken a little bit of a backseat as far as initiating energies. So Kathy did say that once. It calls to us. Oh yeah. Perfect. There's really something. That's the direct vision I keep getting with Spirit, is they're showing me you sitting with the land and you're drawing on the ground, and the ground like kind of draws back or responds back to you. So I know that it's a symbiotic connection. I know that there's like this reciprocal nature to it. So that feels like the most important thing to depend on. So try not to initiate fully. Let things flow. Let it kind of happen. And again, we're in all sorts of retrogrades right now, so movement can be totally manipulated. So just be careful of that. All right, go ahead, Kathy. Naomi. So Naomi would like to know if moving this month is still possible.
I did answer her actually. I did tell her
good.
that I was actually getting at the end of this month or into next early of next month. And it's interesting that you said the 9th, because I was feeling like within the first 2 weeks, like,
Yeah, it feels like right in the beginning of November if it went that far.
Yeah. Oh, she wants to get married on the land too. So
I totally see that 100%.
yeah.
I can
Yeah.
totally see that.
This is going to be yours, yours and Miguel's. This is going to be your family. Like I think I said before, this is like a generational, type of move that you guys have done in some way. Like there's going to be your ties in this land. And I think it's absolutely beautiful.
Mhm.
I just wanted to let you know, Brandon, Jessica did message and said, thank you so much for the reading. And
Well, that's good.
she did watch it. So, and
Good.
you're so welcome, Amy. I hope that has helped. I hope it's given you some clarity. And
Be at peace with it. You got to trust your land. Communicate with it as if it was its own person.
yeah,
And it's gonna keep you informed, but it's not too much longer, to be honest. I'm sure you're probably having some tensions where you are right now. But that's why Miguel's there. He can find the sunshine in any situation right now. He's got that sun behind him. He's in a good energy.
perfect. I
All
just want
right.
to ask, so I think we can add Scott to the reading list. I just want to ask, Scott, did you pay through PayPal or
You said PayPal, I believe.
okay. It may not have shown up yet. So we'll just did you put 4 5s in there? Because a lot of people make that mistake and they'll just put 3 5s. So you may want to just double check that. Okay, so who is next?
Next up is going to be Andrea, then Jenny, and then Scott.
Okay. And what would Andrea like to know?
So Andrea, let's make sure Andrea is still here. While I fill out. Well, I put Scott in our list. Andrea is a Pisces and would like to know, I just want to know about my love life. What is it that Spirit says I should be doing right now in regards to it? I want to...
Go ahead.
I just want to say something right away, Andrea. Let me just... I'm going to help you in the future. And this is something, it just jumps right out at me. So you're holding the relationship and love life as a separate part of yourself. Immediately the phrasing of that question. So I know that you probably didn't think about that and you're like, no, that's not what I intended. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is your subconscious is automatically creating a separation and association from it. So really the very first thing that needs to happen is an integration. I am my love life. I am this. This is who, so really, and again, today's the perfect day to do that. Focus on the relationship with the self. What you feel, how you love yourself, how you cook dinner for yourself, or, caress your own hair, like, whatever it is, that's a reflection of the relationship you have with yourself and a direct reflection of what's happening in a relationship with another person. So right away, the very first thing that just comes in, just reading your question is, do not separate the love life from your own self. Let it be a part of you. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Kathy.
No, I think that was actually beautiful, because simply what I was picking up on is there's something very similar. So when you asked me the question about your love life, the first thing I actually saw was 2 separate entities of yourself. Okay. So it was almost like you're here and then you're here and here. And it was interesting that what Brandon had said, because I had seen this division. It almost feels as though there is. So what I'm getting from this, Andrea, okay, what this is telling me when I'm seeing this like separation is it almost feels as there is a bit of a, okay, hang on. because I hear some channeling going on. So I feel like this could be a long one, and I don't mean it to be, or it could be just, I'm just going to let it come out. So what they're telling me here is, I'm hearing that you may have been doing some manifestation or trying to do some manifestation in regards to your love life, whether this is visualization, maybe you're listening to manifestations, maybe you're, whatever it is. It does feel like somehow your energy is manifesting this relationship coming through. However, what the problem is happening here is, because you're sort of divided, that it feels as though there is this energy of disbelief that's coming through, and it's an energy of it's almost as though this separate part of you, the separate part, is carrying the disbelief. It's carrying past relationships. It's carrying the junk that you really don't need, or the stuff that isn't helping along with this manifestation. So what I'm getting told here is that your core self is in this other place of really feeling the relationship happening, trying to bring it through. You're in this place of feeling this relationship in some way, but because there is this separation, and that's where you go into the negative, sometimes the negative aspects, or maybe perhaps the lack of faith that's coming through. Spirit is actually asking you to really start integrating both halves of yourself. So your higher self with your your 3D self. Okay, so your 5 and your 3D self, they want you to start integrating it and putting this into a start really feeling your manifestations, rather than kind of putting them onto that second entity, or putting it outside of yourself. It feels like, so I'm hearing something about December coming through. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but I keep hearing December could really make some definite changes. I don't know if there's already a person that you're sort of thinking about, or that you're wanting to bring through, because it does feel that there is an energy that you're kind of hopeful, I guess, towards, or maybe perhaps this could be just in general, as far as being hopeful towards a relationship. But I almost feel as though this is hopeful towards maybe one particular person. But because you're also placing some negative energy around that, again, there's that disbelief or that lack of faith that's coming through. Does this make sense to you? I hope you're still there, Andrea. But what it feels like, oh, okay, so it's okay, so there is somebody. So try to spend the next little while placing as much forgiveness, not only upon him, but yourself. This was going to make a huge difference. Try to remove the negative aspects that you guys, if there's been any, negative aspects in regards to the two of you relating with each other, or possibly past relationships around, that you've encountered before. And it really feels like once you really start letting that go, things are so going to start really moving forward. I feel like there's a good connection here. Okay. But it's just that there's almost like, what's the best way to describe it? I'm literally seeing the Page of Swords. So it's almost as though you're sort of watching, waiting for something negative. And because of that watching and waiting for something to possibly come through that could be in a negative aspect, it's hard for you to fully integrate yourself into what this could be a really beautiful relationship. So I hope that makes sense. So that's what I'm feeling is really work on the faith, the trust, the releasing, the forgiveness, all of that may be possibly stopping you from connecting fully with your higher self. Because once you do that connection with that higher self, this energy with Greg is just going to start to flow. Okay, it will start to flow. It will really help this connection move forward. But I do feel like, there's some negativity, and I don't mean like you're walking around like grumpy or anything like that. It's just there may have been disappointments, that can place a wall there. So just start releasing those disappointments, start releasing those things that could possibly be holding you back. So I hope that
Yeah.
helps.
Um, I'm going to echo what Kathy's saying here, Andrea. So first, I'm asking Spirit three things. One, what's the energy of the love life currently? What do you need to know or do in regards to the love life? And then, what's to kind of come in the future? What I keep being shown is they are confirming for me. They are saying and showing me that, the energy of bond relationship, it feels far away or far away from self. At this time, there is absolutely distance. What I keep being shown, so Kathy so beautifully and delicately put it, I may be a little bit more aggressive. I apologize. Spirit is telling me that you have some, okay, for lack of better terms, some bullshit to like go through. It's like you and maybe the other person as well have been avoiding. It's like you can sense and feel that there's some kind of breakdown that needs to happen. You got to ride into that right away. I know you're anxious about it. I know that it makes you feel really nervous. You're not sure how to respond or what to do with it, but you got to ride through it. Because exactly as Kathy is saying, once you get through the other side of this, you have nothing but a solid, steady, reliable, and high frequency root to rely on. This is like, I mean, it is so beautifully blended and harmonious and in balance on the other side that there's no way you can't go through this challenge. So go through the breakdown, go through the friction,
Mhm.
go through all of that tension. Because the more you avoid it, the more you're actually attracting all of that into you, into your connection, in your love life. Everybody's going to be able to pick up around it. And if we are speaking specifically on Greg here, which I am actually being shown that they're showing me the male's presence being solid, steady, reliable, and in a spiritual space. Once these things have been gone through, they're showing me his energy on that other side. So do not be afraid to go through this sort of breakdown, this disconnect, letting go of negative energy, really put yourself and shift yourself. Just as we were talking, I'm not sure, you were here with us in the beginning of the show, developing that relationship with the self. Trust me, this is like, it's going to be worth its weight in gold, but it does seem to affect the other people that are around you. Again, they're showing me that male energy, which I do feel is Greg here. So don't be afraid to go through the tough stuff. This is the time to do it. This is absolutely the time to do it. We're in Libra season. Again, we're in that new moon in Libra. This really is the time to reacclimate and reconfigure relationships, including that one with the self, because it impacts all of them around us. So you got this. It's tough, but trust me, I know you can navigate through it. And Kathy and I will be here if you need help and being guided during this journey. Of course, you can contact me at my website if you want just a full reading with me, thedreamteacher.com. You can go over and do that. And Kathy, she has her own contacts as well. I'll let her tell you that.
Yeah, so you guys can reach me at oracleintuitions1111@gmail.com or through Facebook or Instagram at Oracle Intuitions. Those are the best places to contact me. I'm so glad that helped, Andrea. And, again, keep us updated. We'll, and I just feel once you do this, it's going to be so easy. Like things are going to really start flowing. So anybody who's watching on Facebook, if you do want a reading, hey, Jessica, thank you for joining us. Go over to Oracle Intuitions on YouTube because unfortunately, Brandon can't see you through Facebook, or if you're on the I Want to Believe channel. So if you're watching either through those, just head on over there, and that will really you will have to wait about 5 minutes, because there is a 5-minute subscription. Yeah, and Kay, the donation list absolutely is open. And oh, and also I just need to ask, who is Geneva? Is that GD? Because we did get a donation from Geneva, but I'm not sure. So if you can just put your question down, Geneva, and your name, your birth date, your question, name and birth date of anybody you're asking about, that will really help.
Perhaps it's somebody from a different channel.
I'm not seeing anything on here. I know that there was a GD, so it might be them.
Oh, okay. That's on the I Want to Believe.
I
Or is
don't
that
know.
here?
I'm not sure. She just said,
Okay, I see GD in the chat. Okay.
yeah. So, I believe that could be them, but
Did we confirm Scott's donation?
yeah. So it's
We did
good.
get that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Scott, we've got yours. Kay will be looking for yours. So Jenny's going to be up next, and then Scott. And then if there is a Geneva in the chat, we did receive your donation. So please put your first name, zodiac sign, and question in the chat so I can put you on our list. Was it the minimum amount?
Yeah.
Or is that a lottery donation?
Minimum for Scott?
For Geneva?
No, that was definitely donation. Yeah.
Okay. So then we'll do, after Scott, we'll do, let's see where Geneva is. And then also Kay as well. So go ahead and put your question in there, Kay. Okay, so next up is Jenny. Jenny. Hello, love. Hi. So Jenny would like to know, Sagittarius, of course, just a general reading, please. General energy.
Jenny.
Oh, Geneva, are you our Gemini? I think you were in our show before.
Okay, Jenny. So, have you? I got to ask a weird question. I don't know what it is with you and Amy and Miguel today, but I'm getting weird visions with you guys. So just bear with me. Again, if it has nothing to do with where you're at, that's okay. We'll just push it aside and continue moving. I keep seeing a baseball uniform. Where is this weird shit coming from? I have no idea. Does that make any sense to you? Like, it's literally showing. No, I don't know if this has to do with you. Maybe, perhaps, I don't know if baseball has anything to do with it, but this could have to do with like energy. It could have to do with So I'm hearing the word like strike, not strike out, but making a strike toward something. So I'm not exactly sure what this has to do with. But I'm literally seeing you in a baseball uniform. It's almost like the stripes, like how they would have those baseball caps and the shirt and the pants that have those stripes on them or something. It's really a weird vision. So if that doesn't make sense to you, and I'll just kind of wait for you to, comment on that, but I'm just going to go ahead with what it is that I feel. So, it's like home run. Okay. Like home run, strike, like you're striking forward, you're moving forward is what I keep getting. It feels as though you've made some decisions. And the analogy I want to give is like when you hit the ball and you're making that home run and you're running home towards the plate, and it really feels like your energy has something to do with that. I really feel a fast moving type of energy. So I feel like you are kind of in this place of struggling a little bit. Do I run forward or do I stay back? And what I keep hearing from spirit is to continue moving forward. Don't let yourself stop. Don't let yourself be. I don't know why I'm getting baseball analogies. I have no idea. Don't don't get stuck in the dugout, and that's kind of what it feels like. It's this energy, like it almost be easier to go into the dugout, but I keep hearing from spirit, keep going, keep moving, keep running. It's like things are trying to come together. But you just have to keep moving forward. Does this make sense to you, Jenny? Like, do you understand what it is that I'm saying? Because I really feel like you may be at this place of a crossroads or something. Oh, and I'm also hearing too, is that your intuitive senses, maybe this is what it has to do with, because it's like your intuitive senses have really heightened, really, really heightened. And it almost feels as though you're really following your own senses, your guides. Like it's like your sixth sense is completely opened up. And you're starting to really not only, you know what? Okay, this is interesting because there's so much crap coming through. But it's like what I'm getting here is your own intuitive senses are not only kicking in for yourself, but they're starting to really expand to your outer circle, people around you, people that maybe perhaps you're coming in contact with. It just feels as though suddenly you're allowing some sort of messages to come flowing through you. And it really feels like you're moving forward, and it almost feels as though you may be putting into this place of wondering if you're following your own intuition for yourself. And that might be feeling why I'm getting this little bit of a dugout here. Like you're not sure if you should move forward. And what Spirit is saying to you is we're allowing all of these other energies to come in order to heighten your intuitive senses. And it feels as though you're supposed to continue to follow this path. Your own intuition towards yourself is going to heighten. It is going to become stronger. You are going to start really following those messages that are coming through for you. But it's also saying that there's a lot of things that are around you right now that they also want you to kind of be aware of, simply because your senses, that sixth sense, is becoming so much stronger. And she says, yes, something was missing of my sons, and I just took a moment and I asked to be shown where it was, and sure enough, it was there the first place I looked. 100%. See, this is exactly what I'm saying. It just feels like you're really starting to connect. It's like I'm actually literally seeing energy flying from you, but you're connecting to Spirit very quickly in that time period. So don't worry about the messages that may not be coming through for you at this point, because I feel like as long as you continue moving forward, you're going to really start seeing those changes or something that it is that you're trying to create. But right now, it's also very important that you are connecting to these other energies. It doesn't mean to take them and absorb them and, hurt yourself in some way because of them. That's not what they're saying. But they are saying that they're trying to, for whatever reason, bring you to a heightened state of mind, a higher state of consciousness. Okay. And I feel like that may have something to do for the future. So just go along with it at the moment for right now. So I hope that helps.
Jenny, are you having trouble sleeping right now? I just keep feeling like this pressure of something happening in your subconscious where you're having a difficulty either falling asleep or staying asleep. And it just keeps, I have this like crazy tension in my neck, just kind of connecting with your energy. And I'm feeling like there's weighing a lot of stuff kind of on your own shoulders. It feels like, it just kind of feels like your energy has disappeared in some way. I feel you, there feels like a lot of emotions too that are kind of coming up, maybe things that are going on in your unconscious that you just didn't even realize, and it's kind of taking its toll on yourself, like energetically. My goodness, there's a lot. I do feel that right now. Yeah, I don't know if you've consciously taken this action, but Spirit keeps showing me, cutting certain things out, being very direct, trying to have very, okay, I need this, so I'm going to do this. I have to do this, so this is going to happen now. And you're just being kind of very direct and trying to be as concise. with yourself as possible. This is good. This is a good energy right now for you to kind of continue, because just as Kathy was saying, I need to sound this message again because it's exactly what I was shown. It's just the words are different. Spirit keeps showing me, do not let yourself get stuck in the void. Don't let yourself get stuck, because if you get stuck, you're going to be there for a minute, and that is not the place that you need to be right now.
Like the dugout.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know why I got baseball analogies.
I'm not sure.
Nothing, so
I think that's honestly funny though. I love that analogy. You cannot let yourself get stuck. It's like I can see it again. I see it differently in my mind. Kathy sees that dugout. I see it as this like void, blackness, and darkness calling you out and trying to pull you in. And I think you know what I mean. And I feel like maybe this is exactly why you're having difficulty sleeping, because there's a part of you that's like, I don't want to be fully subconscious right now. Like, I need to be conscious. I need to be here. Like, I have to have this. And that's exactly what Spirit keeps showing me, is you need to have your roots firm. You've got really good, solid roots that you've been creating over the past few months. And these are the things that you have to really rely on. You know, you have stopped relying on the other people surrounding like your move. You know, we had talked about that. And, you know, certain partnerships and things holding you back, and you knowing the direct course of action and you focusing on that. It's super important to rely on your roots right now. That's the space. So don't let yourself get stuck in the void. Don't sit in the dugout. You're supposed to be out there playing the field. You're supposed to be out there interacting, feeling solid, feeling all sorts of different energetic influences too. Those things are okay as long as you don't let them interfere with the things that you obviously need to do, like sleep and eat and take care of kids and blah blah blah. You get the point. Keeping that concise energy. I have this void I go to when I nod off, and I'm not sure what it means. Well, I mean, sometimes sleep is just sleep, right? But when you're I know what you're talking about, because so I'll have this void too when I like I do a meditation or like have a nap in the middle of the day. That's when it pulls to me. And so I'm like kind of in this like weird haze, like in and out of consciousness. And then something will happen. I was listening to a meditation. I have no idea what the heck that person was saying. So sometimes the void can be beneficial, but right now your energy is too receptive to be in there for a long period of time. So you're going to get stuck in there. And the whole point is just don't let yourself get stuck. Keep this forward momentum moving. That's the entire point. It's okay to visit it every once in a while. We exist there simultaneously as we do in our conscious mind, you know, in life. But don't let yourself get stuck there. Don't let yourself get stagnated. That's the point. Don't hold yourself back. You have solid roots and you're taking solid, concise action right now. That's the step. That's the place to focus.
Jenny, when you go into this void, does this void show you images? You know, are you seeing different things, or is it really literally like a black space? And I'm asking this for a reason, because I just want to see what is going on here. So when I start to fall asleep, I didn't know what this was, because I'd asked a lot of people, you know, do you ever have this when you're falling asleep? And they would all look at me like I was crazy. So I just figured, okay, they weren't. But when I start to fall asleep, I start getting really weird images, and it can be, I mean, I've seen samurai warriors, I've seen, you know, jungles. It's almost like and I mean, you know, I've always had this. So it's like I've traveled everywhere is what it feels like. I've been all of these different places. Okay, so that's interesting. But so what I was told is that, you know, it was like astral traveling. So what it feels like, so she says, no, it's a black space, but I hear my room around me. Like I don't even realize I fell asleep. Okay, that's kind of interesting. It feels.
Yeah, I experienced that.
Do you? Okay. So I see, maybe you can help with this one, because I don't have that. It does feel like you're in this state of being present, though, is what it does feel like. Very much a present or a now state.
Yep.
And if you can, that might be the best place to really try to manifest what it is that you're wanting to manifest. Because if you're in that empty type of space where you're only paying attention to what is around you, like you're without really absorbing it, that is exactly where you need to be for manifestation. That is the
100%.
present. And so that might be something that you want to maybe set an intention for before you fall asleep, and then allow that intention to play itself when you're in that black space, in that void. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's the
that's
beginning
where I
stages of lucid dreaming right there. That's like totally
am.
that first little realm you kind of hit when you do a lucid dream. So you're
Okay.
receptive, Jenny. You got it, and that really is the perfect place to manifest. So
Yeah.
use that to your advantage.
That's exactly it. Like when I fall asleep, I wish I got a black space. Instead, I'm all over the freaking place. I mean,
You're on spinning spaceships
oh,
and lava.
it's weird because I'll all of a sudden be in somebody's house and I can see like somebody sleeping and I'm like, whoa, shit, what the
I
hell is
better
going on?
go. I better get out of here.
Yeah, because it's kind of intrusive, right? But
Yeah, it is.
sometimes it's people I know, sometimes it's not. But it's like I know, you feel it because it's almost like, oh, look at you sleeping there, person. I'm just going to go
In
this way
your
because
belly.
that's
So sorry.
yeah. But it may be this time. It can be other time. Like it just feels very like I'm all over. When I'm sleeping, like or about it. It's not right when I'm sleeping, but it's when you're just about to fall asleep, and all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 and I'll get these like crazy images, and yeah. So I don't know. I haven't really heard too many other people that have said that they get that as well. And so it was kind of like, oh, okay, nobody really understands. So I'm just going to go
Oh,
with
them
what it
damn
is.
Pisces moon people, I swear.
But it's interesting because when I do psychic work for, when I used to do it for paranormal, a lot of times I would let the team go. And
Mhm.
I didn't know anything about the house. I didn't want to know any of the layout. I didn't want to know, anything about it. And it was almost like I could project myself there. So I wouldn't be
Mhm.
able to tell you exactly everything that was on the counter, let's say in their kitchen, but I
Mhm.
could definitely, I'd be like, there's a cookie jar. It looks like this. There's this over here. And then it was like I was literally at the house and I could scoot my way around without actually being there so that I could pick up on whatever was happening within the house.
Mhm. I love doing
And
that. It's so fun.
yes. What's that?
I love doing that. It's so fun.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool, right? But
Mhm.
of course, I always ask for permission first. So,
Of course.
they would go there and they would say, do they have permission? Does she have permission to go? Because otherwise, you're just being. But I think maybe that's why when I'm falling asleep, it feels intrusive to me because
Mhm.
I'm not technically invited there. So I'm kind of like, oh,
Mhm.
hey, hey, you snore. Okay, I'm out of here. Or, oh, hey. Do you talk in your sleep? Okay, I'm out of here. Like I don't want to be a part of that. Like that's not my,
Yeah.
that's very for me. I wouldn't. Well, I don't know.
It's
I
totally
probably don't care.
invasive.
Huh?
Totally invasive.
Wait, yeah. I mean, personally, I don't know if it would bother me, but I
Well,
would
here's the
think that it
thing.
would bother other people, right?
You
Like
can
for sure,
protect
right?
yourself. You can protect yourself from that. If you did not want that,
Well,
you can
yeah,
absolutely
that's
block
just
that
it. I
off.
know how to do, I know how to do that protection and all of that. So
Exactly.
it's,
It
um,
does raise it raises some interesting questions of morals, right? If somebody is ignorant to the fact that someone can do that, right? And so they don't have any protections or blocks up because they don't think that that's possible. And then all of
mhm.
a sudden it happens, this is a question of morality. Is it okay for somebody to do that even if the person has no idea that it's happening? And I think that's each
Yeah, I mean,
person's
for
own
me
preference.
personally, I don't want to be there.
Right.
Right? I mean, I've known, I remember, a couple of times, like with my kids, like I'll know. I remember one time I was having a dream about my daughter getting stuck on an elevator.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden she phoned and she's like, Mom, I'm stuck on an elevator. I'm like, yeah, I know. So, I'll hang out on the
I'm
phone
gonna
with
go back
you.
to bed.
Yeah.
I saw you getting out. You're good.
Yeah, like, well, actually, it was so funny because I could hear her in my head. I'm stuck on this damn elevator, and then literally my phone rang like a minute later, and I was like, "Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. That sucks. Like, I'll sit with you on the phone while you're stuck there." But for me, it's like, people. I mean, I'm all about like the man cave. Have your privacy. Go do what you want. As long as
Mhm.
there's trust, and stuff like that, right? Same with me. Like, it is what it is, right? So, anyway,
Gotta have your space.
yeah. So let's get moving. Sorry.
All right.
I hope that
So we've
helped any
got
anyway.
Scott up next. Geneva, please put your question in the chat, love. First name, zodiac sign, and question in the chat. I'm not sure if you saw my message, but please do that now because you're after Scott. So we have Scott, Geneva, and then Kay. We've got about 30 minutes left, so we'll see. We'll definitely get through our donation list, and we'll see if we have time here for any lottery questions. We should be able to do one, hopefully. So let's move on with Scott.
Perfect. What did Scott want to know?
All right, Scott is Pisces, and he says, I feel like there's stuff happening in the background, and I feel like Derek is the one that's behind it. Derek is a Taurus.
Okay. So I did ask Scott if this okay. I'm here. Not sure what Derek feels toward me and what his plans are with me. Okay, I get what you're saying. So you're kind of thinking that maybe there might be some energy in the background in regards to Derek. But you're not sure exactly what's going on. So just let me tap into this energy for a second here. So the first thing I actually pick up is it does. Okay. The first thing I'm actually seeing, it's almost as though you would be here and Derek would be here. And it feels as though Derek is somehow watching or trying to pay attention or doing something here. But it's interesting because you're sort of looking over your shoulder. Like, you're not really paying attention, but you're looking over your shoulder, watching, and trying to see. It almost feels like, what this reminds me of are those old fashioned kind of, I guess, westerns where the woman would walk down the street, and I'm not relating you to a woman, I'm just using the scenario. Okay, is the woman's walking down the street and she dropped her handkerchief and the guy picks it up, but the woman's kind of watching over her shoulder, like, is he going to pick it up or is he going to walk by it? Is he going to pick it up or is he going to walk by it? And that feels very much like the energy of what is happening, is what is happening here. And so I feel like, because your back is sort of turned and you're watching over, he's not exactly sure what to do with this. It does feel as though he wants to approach, he wants to come forward, he wants like some sort of communication to happen. I do feel energetically, Scott, is to maybe stop moving a little bit. I'm not sure if that makes any sense to you, but it almost feels like you're kind of keeping a little bit ahead of a pace. Yeah, I know you're gay. That's okay. I understand. You're kind of keeping a little bit ahead of the pace and trying to make him catch up to you in some way. And I almost feel like maybe slow down the steps a little bit. It doesn't mean to stop your life or to wait, or, to be in this place of um just that energy. It just feels kind of like it almost feels like there's a little bit of fear in you. Okay. Which is why I kind of feel like you moving forward, and you're wanting him to kind of catch up and demonstrate in some way that there is a caring or a relationship or something here. It's like you want him to show you. Now, whether or not you consciously are aware of that, I'm not sure. So what I do feel with Derek, what does he want from you? I do feel, I kind of understand though why you are rushing a little bit or moving ahead forward, because I do feel a fear of maybe thinking or feeling or getting that energy that maybe he's a little bit of a player, or maybe that he's not going to be committed in some way. So I feel like he does want some sort of connection here, some sort of relationship. I do feel that there could be a solid foundation that could be built between the two of you. However, I do feel not to, I know this sounds crazy, but try not to be in that place of giving too much, because it does feel if you give too much, he starts questioning possibly, or he starts doubting the connection. It kind of moves him back a little bit. I think he kind of likes the chase a little bit. I think he kind of likes having that energy flow towards you in some way. So I'm getting here that once you let him catch up to you, or once once this relationship starts to build, because I do feel that it could start to build, what I'm getting here is, when I say don't put your all in, I don't mean to not be honest and open and authentic and vulnerable and all of that stuff. Absolutely do so. But I do feel, and I'm not sure exactly where I'm feeling this from with Derek, but I do feel a bit of laziness in him.
A
And
little.
yeah, right? So you don't want to give too much, because once you start giving too much, he won't, it almost feels like he doesn't need to participate as much anymore. Like he doesn't need to project that energy. It doesn't take away from what he's feeling towards you. It just feels like, oh, I don't need to do this anymore. Well, I'll let him do all the work. I'll let Scott do it, or I can just sort of sit over here and Scott will come. So it feels like an unbalance in there, if that makes any sense. So, you know what? Just let it be for right now, Scott. I do feel that he will probably be the one. That will reach out. It may not be right away. I do see that you just put your thing here, that was on September 15th. I kind of feel that this could, it's like he's trying to prove a point of something. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Are you getting that too? Go ahead.
I feel, let me jump in here because I feel
Mhm.
like I'm picking up pretty clearly on this, and I know these dynamics very, very well. I know exactly this play that's happening as well, Scott. So let me just confirm for you. You 100% are tapped in, okay? I can feel you. I felt you the moment that you came into the show. My crown chakra started tingling. I'm like, oh, somebody really psychic is here. Like I can feel him. I sense him. And I knew you were sensing me. I could feel you pulling on my energy specifically. You are absolutely connected. You are tapping into these things that are going on underneath the surface of Derek. Here's the issue. He lives his life on the surface. He doesn't see below most of the stuff. So for him, he is like blocking out a whole layer of his existence, a whole layer of his energy, his own psyche and consciousness. The energy between the two of you, there is this weird sort of natural root or anchor that I feel between the two of you. But it's very subtle and it hits on a higher frequency. So, of course, if you're not tuned into those higher frequencies, if you're kind of resting on a surface level like he is, of course, there's going to be friction. Of course, it's going to feel like a little bit of distance. So, it is a little bit of this sort of cat and mouse happening right now. When I'm looking into Derek's feelings specifically for you, I can feel his energy being pulled away. But the one thing that I feel is that I feel him loving chatting with you, but it's for whatever reason I feel him holding that back. And I think it's because in some way he senses that you see into him and that makes him uncomfortable. When you look into a Taurus, especially I'm a Taurus as well, trust me, I know. And if I was not if I was not so receptive to psychic experience and phenomena, I could tell you right now, if somebody's looking into my energy, I'm not okay with that. I want to block down. I'm that bull. I'm that steady, reliable, physical, practical person. I feel that energy with Derek very, very strongly. So looking deeper into that stuff is going to be a very uncomfortable experience. When I'm looking into his intentions with you, Scott, what I am being shown is that there is this feeling of him needing to hold back right now. But I can tell you 100% connecting with that soul's desire, that soul does want to open up. That soul does want to experience a sense of intimacy that he has not experienced before. And he senses and feels that it can absolutely happen with you. What you need to do and what's to come between the two of you, you've got to keep things and meet him on his level. Do not try to pull him to yours. If you do, you're going to be disappointed every single time you try to. You need to meet him at his level for now. Keep things very simple. Keep things very friendly. Keep it a loyalty. But I want to tell you something specifically. Be and adopt this childlike sense of fun and wonder. Okay. That
Ooh, I love
child
that.
state of bliss. This is when Derek opens up. When he is laughing, when he is giddy, when he is just, the time is flying by. You didn't even realize. That's the time when he's open up. That's the time when I can feel him wanting to pull you either close or be next to you in some way. Those are those important moments. So right now, focus on the friendship and focus on those moments where you lose sense of time and you kind of have that giddiness as a child. That is the prime little sweet spot for the two of you to be, for those moments, for these deeper connections to be able to be felt. Does he know you have your own place? I have no idea. Honestly, I'm not sure. It's I don't think that that's super relevant right now, as far as what you need to figure out with him and you two getting on that same page. But yeah, I don't think that really matters right now. You just got to get on that same page. That's really the main basis. Get on the same page. Keep it simple. Keep it easy. Keep it light. Have that childlike wonder. That's really, I'm telling you, that is that sweet spot.
I love that. Beautiful. I hope that's helped, Scott. I hope that gave you some sense of clarity.
Oh, how will he reach out to you? It feels like it would be some kind of like,
I feel social media.
it feels quite direct, like it feels very intentional. I
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprised if the two of you just ran into each other at some point, but yeah, I do feel like he would send something through social media. Oh yeah, he knows you know. Oh yeah, there's like something in him. He's like, oh god, someone sees into me. Oh god, I gotta close down. I gotta be cool. Keep it cool. Keep it cool. Be manly. Roar. I know this dynamic so well.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, Scott. I'm honor you for following your feelings. That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. Who is
That's what
next?
it's all about. Geneva.
Okay.
I remember our Geneva. We had her on maybe a couple months ago. Our Gemini. I remember. All right, so it'll be Geneva and then Kay. Kay, I'm so sorry. You know we get long-winded. It took more than 10 minutes to get through 2 readings. So yeah. All right, so Geneva kind of has a long question. I just want to make sure that she's still here, but she's trying. Oh, there she is. There it is.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, so Gemini, of course. Okay, my question is off the wall. Thank you for that caveat right up front. I woke up and saw what is called the Hat Man, another
Okay.
man and female blob in my room about 6 months ago. I've
Mhm.
never, ever had anything like this. So it's
Mhm.
funny you're talking about dream issues the rest of the story.
Okay.
Oh, no, dream issues. The rest of the story, I follow another reader, and on 9:30, he posted, "The person you're going to dream about tonight wants to see you for real. This is why you will have this dream tonight. This is for you, the person reading this now." Then that night, I had a dream, and when I turned around, I saw the Hat Man standing behind me. I was scared to death and woke up.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, this is going to be okay. So Geneva, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions first. Okay. This other reader. Okay. So in my experience with the Hat Man, okay, and I've ran into him a few times on different investigations.
Well, I'm gonna let you take over here because I've never heard of this.
Yeah. So one question, was he wearing a bowler hat or was he wearing more of the cowboy hat? And also, have you used this other reader quite often? Is this somebody who has tapped into your energy on a
This was my
regular
instinct.
basis? Huh? Yeah.
This was my instinct that it's coming from this other reader.
Well, I'll explain in a second. So if you can just kind of verify that for me, Geneva. Yes, the bolero hat. Okay, good. And yes, he's tapped into you quite often. Okay, so in my experience, and there are going to be people that disagree with me. I don't give a shit. But I've ran into him, and so I'm just going to give you a little bit of background, and this is going to be a little bit, I don't mean to go into a great big thing here. So when I used to do paranormal investigation, I would have a theory about something, and then I would work on that theory, and if the theory panned out to what I was thinking, great, that was my theory was proven. If it didn't, it didn't. I mean, it was like science, right? For me, that's how I always did it, because there were certain things that came about with an energy. Now, my theory with the Hat Man is sometimes the Hat Man appears as a warning, not for you, sometimes about people. And the Hat Man has usually appeared when somebody is screwing with the paranormal or psychic or energy that they shouldn't be tapping into. Okay. So this can relate to darker energy. This can relate to, I don't know if he's ever told you about, that you've had an attachment or something like that. And again, that's something that I'm just going to ask you, if he's ever told you anything like that before. So when the Hat Man appears, he can sometimes be an energy, like I said, of a warning. And the reason that he may be coming in as a warning is simply because somebody may be tapping into darker energy. So the Hat Man wouldn't come to you if it was a white light. Okay, I'm going to tell you that. The Hat Man, whether it's the bolero or the cowboy, although the cowboy is more of the, like, you don't want the cowboy showing up if at all possible. I'm just letting you know. The bolero hat guy, he's not as much as of a dark energy, I would say, but sometimes he can be like a watcher. Okay, a watcher of energy, and he usually doesn't really participate with people. Okay, he's more, he would be like as if I sent a security camera over to your house to just observe, but I can't interact. Okay, I hope that makes sense. He can't really, he may do movements, he may, something like that, but he's not really particularly interactive. They're more watchers than anything else. I'm going to actually suggest to you, I would never tell you not to use a psychic, and I don't know this psychic, so I'm not going to in any way put anything negative onto him, especially if you've had a good history with him. But Unfortunately, no, it was not Archangel Michael. Okay, especially if he appears in a hat. The angels will appear as more angels. Okay,
Yeah, you'll know.
no, it's an
You
angel.
definitely know when the
It
angel
is
comes.
an the when it comes through with the Hat Man, and again, some people aren't going to agree, and that's, you can stay with your belief, and that's perfectly fine. But I've experienced the Hat Man on several occasions in different locations, and he usually does appear as a watcher. Okay. Now, he may be watching you, especially if you have abilities of your own. Okay. So if you have abilities of your own, sometimes the watchers will show up to watch you. And when we talk about watching, it doesn't mean that they're not really trying to particularly interact. They're not going to do any protection. They're not going to cause any harm. But they sometimes show up to people that have very strong energies. And like you said, he said you were a white light. So this Hat Man can show up for people that do have very strong energies, but again, it's more of an observer, and it almost feels like he could be watching. It's either that but here's the thing: observers can be sent by other people to a home to observe. Okay, so I almost am going to what I'm going to tell you, Genevieve. I feel like you need to protect your room, protect your energy while you're sleeping, because I do feel a tapping in of external energy of some sort. It was very similar to what we had talked about, where I would appear, or, I know that I'm at somebody's house, even if it's just for a brief second. But, but this feels like this could have been possibly sent, or he could be there as a, observer on his own, especially if you have abilities. He may be wanting to see what you do with those abilities. The interesting thing is, because I'm not being very specific here, because I'd have to actually encounter him on my own in order to, see what he's, doing. But um it's like sometimes they will appear to people that have abilities simply because they do want to see what your abilities are going, where they're going to lead you. Are they going to lead you
Yeah.
to dark or light? And they want to know this, because this, if you tend to go on to the darker side of things, and people tend to think, oh, well, it's just a spell, or it's just this, or, whatever it is, they want to be aware of these people. Now, if it was the cowboy that showed up, I would be like, you don't want the cowboy. Trust me. When he appears, it's not good. But this guy, I do feel like he might be just possibly watching at this moment, but I cannot tell if he was sent to you or if he's coming through on his own. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point of focus. I personally do feel more that I don't think that you brought in this Hat Man, Geneva. I am
I don't
with
feel like that either.
what I'm being shown, well, you need to focus on with all of this. Spirit keeps showing me that you need to know your associations. They are showing me a male's energy that has this sort of um, debilitating extension, debilitating growth. Um,
Hmm.
just be very careful with who you're working with. They do specifically show me male. I do also feel that it's entirely possible that you did see Archangel Michael, and it could be in response to the fact that something was trying to come at your energy, and Michael probably came in and just
Blocked
stop
it right
right
out.
now.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
not going
I will
anywhere.
tell you though, but Michael will never appear in a hat. Like you will
Right.
know
I don't know
it
if
is
she was
Michael.
saying that's who was in the hat or not. Maybe she's not. But she said she felt like she could feel Archangel Michael. So no, I don't think that would ever be a Hat Man. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Like Archangel
Yeah.
Michael is a very distinct, clear energy. Like you know that when Michael's present.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm just being shown be very careful with your associations. Be very careful with who is connecting with your energy right now, because I do feel that this was more either not specifically sent to you, but it was like the roadway was opened
Right.
and somebody else opened that roadway. So you need to be very, very careful. Yes, I do feel Michael is absolutely a protector for you. 100%.
Oh yeah, and especially if you see, as soon as you call on Michael, he will come in
Oh yeah.
immediately. So, like as Brandon was saying, he may have just come in. I'll tell you an incident very quickly that I had with like a couple of like one of the Hat Man, and this is the cowboy, and that's why I was really grateful at the fact that the Hat Man did not. It was the Bolero hat, because he usually does appear as a watcher, and it's literally they like I said, they could come on their own or they could come in. But when I had the cowboy experience, so we were at a home investigating, and I could tell that there was some dark energy going on, like dark magic maybe, or somebody playing with dark whatever. And I literally saw the cowboy in my head. But the weird thing is that he pointed at one of the other investigators that I was with, and he went bang, like that. At that same time, this investigator, who, as it turned out, was not one of the nicest people in the world, like he was playing with some dark energy on his own, he literally grabbed his leg and went, "Oh my God," like, ow. And he had a bruise on his leg about that big. So, these things are real. But so if you're wanting to know how to close it, what I would actually do is, if you can get some, I would say like some white quartz, some black tourmaline, these don't need to be huge, massive rocks or anything else. They can be little, you can get them pretty much anywhere. What you can do is, I would put them in all four corners of your room, but put the intention that only peace, love, and prosperity is allowed to enter that room. This will help block it off. You may also want to, I'm sorry, I don't remember who that was that suggested. I saw the suggestion. Lucinda had suggested, saging it. Again, if you do decide to sage your bedroom, only ask for peace, love, and prosperity. Do not ask for anything that you don't want. So a lot of people will sage things and they'll be like, "I don't want negativity. I don't want ghosts. I don't want." Okay, well, you're just invited them all in. Okay. So you want to stay with peace, love, and prosperity, and you can do that. I don't feel any harm or anything like this. I just feel exactly like Brandon had said, pay attention to the energy that you're around, especially when it comes to psychic work. Okay. I really feel that will make that huge difference. So I hope that helps.
Whew, what a journey. I've never heard of Hat Man, and it seems like a lot of people in here have absolutely heard.
Oh, I've ran into him, like I said, a couple of times. And it's funny because, I haven't run into him. It's not like I've had to deal with him. They're very much observers, or they'll sit in the background and they watch. Right. I like what Death of Dragons says. Sometimes prayers for a guardian soul spirits to protect you will help too. Here's the other thing, is asking Archangel Michael to watch over you while you're sleeping will help. And because Michael is omnipresent, he will stay there the whole night if need be.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. Michael,
and you can ask him to cut the energy of anything that comes in to that's intrusive. Okay.
So interesting.
Yeah, there's some.
This reminds me of like Slender Man and Candyman and the Boogeyman, and
The
like
Hat Man isn't like
all
that.
of these
Like,
different
but
things.
he, like I said, they, a lot of people don't realize how many observers, that are sent here, whether it's from the council, whether it's from, dimensional, whether it's through whatever it is, we do get watchers on a regular basis. So and I hope that helps. Honestly, Geneva, I don't feel anything, dangerous or anything like that. But, it is something that, nobody really wants that energy,
Yeah,
right?
it's weird, you know? It's
Mhm.
invasive, just as we were talking about people looking over you while you're, like, minding your own business,
Right. Yeah.
you
And I
know?
mean, like I said, I've had it where, I mean, this doesn't happen to me every night or anything like that, but once in a while I'll be, and I'm just like, whoa, I don't want anything to do with that. Okay, I'm out of here. Like,
I am so lucky. I must have some kick-ass guides because they only show me stuff where I actively look into it, or if I ask for it. So I do have to always constantly ask spirit, so I do have to have dialogue, but man, I must have some kick-ass guides because I don't see scary stuff like a lot of other mediums and psychics do. They see a lot of really intense, scary things, and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," I'm like a little
but
kid
I
just
don't I
walking
don't mind that. I
through.
don't mind it, to be honest, because it really, it allows me to be able, like, you're going to be given what you need to help.
Right,
And
right.
so, because I mean, I don't deal with the dark at all. Like, that's not
Mhm,
my genre, but I have seen enough of it that I can sit on an as an observer so
mhm,
that I can tap into the energy and bring what is needed to the people to help. And it's interesting because I've had Reiki sessions before, and people, like, I've actually had the Reiki practitioner say, "Can you just ask your guys to take a step back because they're like like this," you know. So um so I know that I'm very, very protected. So I don't worry about going in, and taking a look at what I need to look at, but I can do it in my own observer type of way, right? And without interfering with it. Sometimes they've noticed me, but usually they just kind of, again, it's like they observe me, I observe them, and then we just kind of take a step out. So,
Alright,
and
let's move on, we're running out of time
hey,
here.
right?
We've got Kay up next. Um, so she is here. I just wanted to remember Sarah's zodiac. I'm not sure if she knew or told us, um, but let's just, make sure. Anshuli, I do have you on our list here, so what you'll see, I have our lottery list. We are running out of time. We might be able to do just one quick lottery question. So we're doing our donation list right now. If you did want priority and you wanted us for sure to answer your question today on today's show, you can submit a donation. I think you're new here. I haven't seen you here before, so I just want to make sure you know. You can submit a donation and put you on our priority list. Kay is our last one up on that donation list, but we could also squeeze you in if we needed to. Otherwise, we will probably be doing just one lottery question here. So take note of your number. And if your number is called, that means you won the reading. If you do donate, though, please let us know here in the chat so we can
Yeah,
put you
because otherwise we
up
won't.
on the priority list.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kay, hello. Okay, Virgo, of course. My question is, what was Sarah feeling when we were in the break room together? Was it my anxiety or hers?
No, that was definitely her anxiety. I don't really feel it was all kind of anxiety though. I picked up on a little bit of anxiety, but there was a lot of sexual tension that went on there.
Yup.
Did you feel
Yup,
that
yup,
right
yup,
away?
yup, yup, yup. That pull, that magnet, that
Yeah,
ooh.
yeah. So you might be interpreting it as anxiety, Kate, but we're feeling something completely different going on here. So I really feel it's interesting. Was she standing with her hands behind her back, like leaning against a counter? Because I'm literally getting that image.
Yeah, there's
Did
like
you
a
get
feeling of like a little bit of there's some kind of lean I'm feeling too with the
Yeah, like
body, yes.
I don't know whether she actually did that or that was her intention or that was the
Was
energy.
there
Oh,
a
she did do
clumsy
that.
moment? Did somebody
Huh?
trip or bang their head on something? Like, I feel like a clumsy moment even.
Yeah, and she just actually said yes. So, as far as the leaning, like, it just felt like a leaning, and it's interesting because even though you may have felt the tension, it's a very open energy, is what I'm getting. A very sexual
Mhm.
intent, tension, open energy. I don't feel like, oh, she stuttered. There you go.
Okay.
So, kind of that embarrassing moment or clumsy moment, I guess it was, but Again, I really feel like, Sarah's in this place of like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I really feel like, she's not sure that next move. Okay. Here's the thing though, sexually, there's this like magnet pull that I keep feeling. It was almost like she really wanted to go to you. Maybe, she just thought it was cute when you stuttered. That's all. It was just like she just it just feels like she knew that the tension was being reciprocated, okay, or that sexual tension in some way was being reciprocated, or that maybe you were nervous or whatever it was. I don't feel anything too major about that, but I do feel this sexual energy for sure was 100% there. And like I said, it's an open energy. I just feel she's very, again, still kind of confused about what she wanted to do. I can tell you, probably if she didn't have that guy, or there wasn't a work scenario, there wouldn't even be a question about this. That's literally what I feel like. I don't feel that there would be a question. I don't know if she'd be rushing into a relationship, but I do feel she would definitely want to explore what could possibly be going on between the two of you. I do feel that the work, and maybe and the boyfriend, or that does sort of hold her back. I don't feel like she's a cheater. I don't feel like she would want to really go that energy, not simply because she doesn't believe in cheating, but I don't think that it's not about that. And I think that came out wrong. She doesn't believe in cheating, but I think that if a little bit of exploring, probably, but I do feel that she really does care about this guy. And I don't think that she wants to hurt him. And I don't think she would go that way to hurt him. Okay. And because this is again, a work situation, she would be scared of that being revealed, in some way. And she would want to be very, very cautious of that. I think her core self is very, faithful and loyal, and
Mhm.
and so she would not want to hurt, this guy. She may even be seeing some sort of life with him, and she wouldn't want to jeopardize that, for what could possibly be just a one-time thing, because she doesn't know exactly what she wants to do with you or this relationship at this point. And I don't feel she's in a place where she wants to jeopardize that. So this is going to be a slow moving kind of process, because there's going to be a lot of things, if it's to happen. There's a lot of things at play here, not just her admitting I guess kind of a change in sexuality, that coming out sort of, but I don't feel like she would be the type to just explore and go away. I feel like she would be one or the other to some degree.
I
So
100% agree. I am also picking up on that as well. But first, to answer your question, Kay, yeah, totally. You both were nervous because when I look at the energy between the both of you, I immediately feel like two people who become hyper aware, freeze, and they start doing this like little dance around one another where they're feeling each other out. They're not sure which way to go. The energy does feel quite ambiguous. It does still feel undefined. And it just feels like there's more and more of testing out the waters, testing each other out, really feeling each other's energy. You know what it reminds me of? When like dogs or cats like come to meet and they start sniffing each other in this little circle, that's 100% what this energy reminds me of. It's like you guys are smelling each other, wondering what's going on, feeling each other's vibes. When I tap into Sarah right now, I am feeling a little bit of friction, on her of like diving right into this. And I asked Spirit about it, and they tell me exactly what Kathy is saying here as well. They're saying that if it wasn't for the guy, things would absolutely be explored right now. But you have to wait until that there becomes some kind of disconnection there. And I am actually being shown that there is like this sort of breakdown with this guy, and with the other relationship. Spirit keeps showing me. So I'm actually feeling within the within a month, that there's going to be like little baby steps made towards you, because Spirit keeps showing me that there's something going on in that relationship right now that is being reevaluated. That's exactly the time that we're in right now in Libra season. New moon in Libra season, all these planets retrograde. There are definitely frictions and tensions going on over there. I do feel that she does care about this person, but it seems like he's not living up to something that she really needs, and she has been glazing over that for a long time. And now I feel like she's starting to come face to face with this realization. So there is something happening over there. So just be patient. Definitely take your time. I heard that they would break up, but I'm staying out of it. Yeah, 100% stay out of it. None of your business. Doesn't matter. Nothing.
Yeah.
Definitely keep your energy away from that. Let them do their own thing. Because honestly, what happens if you were to associate your energy with them during the breakup, you might, by just unconscious way of interaction, go down with that ship too, because your energy might be associated there. So just keep your energy totally back. None of your business, not your circus. You just, oh, I hope things are well. I wish you well, beautiful, blah, blah, blah. But I do feel like there is some kind of a breakdown happening between the two of them. And like I said, Spirit keeps showing me these little baby steps with you and Sarah moving forward in this month even. So just kind of keep doing what you're doing. Keep sniffing each other out, doing your little cat circle, whatever it is that y'all are doing. But the other thing I want to highlight real quick is that I feel like there is this suppression of deep spiritual truths happening. I'm not sure if it's the both of you. I definitely feel it with her, but just to make sure and just to be on the safe side, Kayla, just make sure you're asking yourself these deeper questions and digging into yourself right now. Am I being honest? Am I being fully truthful and vulnerable with my own self? Just ask yourself that, just to check in with your spiritual core right now, because you don't want by proxy these things getting bloated or backed up, because she may not be doing the same thing. And also it will serve as a point of inspiration in the future between you two. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you're asking yourself the deeper, uncomfortable, vulnerable questions, and being open to that higher self connection, etc. Yay! It's kind of exciting, though. It's got a very fun, vibrant vibe to it all. The cat circle. You like my little cat circle?
What cat circle? Did you hold up a cat circle?
Oh, I've been making interesting analogies over here.
I was just reading case things, so I don't know if you had said something about this. Sometimes I don't listen because I like to pick up on my own energy. Yep. But she says, if I see someone else and she sees, is she going to be upset that someone else come on? I feel jealous.
That's on her. That's on her.
That's exactly it. But you know what? If she's not ready to take that step forward, then there's, you know what I mean? Nobody can sit there in perpetual wait for anybody, right?
Nope,
like we should not be doing that. And so, if somebody comes along that you're feeling that connection with, I would not say to play with, to do that on purpose. Okay. I feel in this case here, this is a case of vulnerability, authenticity. Okay. So if you were to bring somebody in, in order to instigate jealousy, okay, good. I wouldn't hurt her on purpose. Yeah. That can really, that wouldn't be a good thing to do. If you genuinely meet somebody and you're feeling that connection, then go for it. Go for it. Exactly. Right. You can't be somebody's second best and wait. That's
Amen.
Amen. That's exactly it. Leave it at that. All right. So we will do one quick one, I think. Hey.
Yeah, let's do a quick lottery here. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, everybody, all for your time, donations, for hanging out with us. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks
Again,
for
if you want to
spending your
contact
Wednesday
me,
evening with us.
an evening with Kathy and Brandon. Welcome to the new moon. If you do want to contact me and get into my little cat smelling circle, you can go over to thedreamteacher.com. Shoot me a message, set up an appointment, and we will be good to go.
And if you guys would like a reading with me, you can contact me at oracleintuitions1111@gmail.com or through my Facebook and Instagram. Just so you guys know, when I do a reading, it is a 1-hour session. And it is usually either through phone or it will be through live video chat. I like to do the video chats just simply because, we can get into a bit of a deeper connection. If I do use the cards, I will show you the cards as we're pulling them out and the whole bit. But yeah, so by all means, give us a message. I completely lost my head.
Give us a call.
Give us
Come
a
on
call.
down. Come on down.
1-800.
Just don't
Yeah,
watch
no.
me while I'm sleeping in my bed.
No, I don't.
Not okay.
I run from that.
Unless you're paying for my OnlyFans, then okay. Just kidding. I don't have one. Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
Okay.
Are we here? Do we've got Will here? Do we've got our Anshuli here? Do we have our Lucinda here? And we're gonna random number generate. Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? All right, let's hit the button. Ready?
Yeah.
Number 2. Number 2, Lucinda.
Lucinda.
All
right.
Congratulations, Lucinda. So
And you
Lucinda,
guys, if you did not get a chance to get a reading this week, remember, we are here every Wednesday. Stay subscribed because the unsubscribing and subscribing isn't really going to help at all. Like, just stay on. If you're subscribed, if you click the notification, sometimes Brandon and I will randomly come on air. Sometimes, but there's also the tarot readings that I do try to get to, but we also have our Sunday shows,
we do giveaways.
Exactly. So stay subscribed because, if you're not subscribed, you're not going to see what's happening. We are here every Wednesday night. Sometimes we have to change the night if something comes up, but we do try to get in that week as much as possible. And, if you don't get in for the lottery, remember that you can put in the $10 donation. You do get that reading that night. If you don't mind hanging out and staying for the lottery, we're happy to have you. And, we do try to get to at least one throughout the show. So there we go.
All right. So Lucinda is here. Lucinda is a Gemini. I would like to know, what do my spirit guides want me to know?
Okay. Lucinda, I'm just going to ask a quick question. Is there something to do with work or employment, or I just feel something about, I don't know why this is coming through. 100% not sure if it's for you. So I need to clarify this with you first. I keep getting something about, I don't know if there's some sort of self-employment going on here, or if you're thinking about something or changing a career. It just feels like there's an independent energy that is surrounding you. She's unemployed. Okay, there we go. All right. Because it feels like something is trying to come through in regards. Are you trying to find a job or something? I okay, yeah, because I don't know, why am I having these crazy freaking visions today? Like, I mean, I always get visions, but I'm getting like real wackadoodle ones today that I can't make any heads or tails out of. And so I don't know again if this is an analogy, but I'm literally seeing you standing there almost wearing like a traditional outfit or a dress of some sort. It doesn't feel like a work costume. Okay. This almost feels like something that you could have made or created or are embodying in some way. And I'm not sure, this may not have anything to do with work, but it does feel, have you been looking into your ancestry or something along this line? Because it's interesting because I'm almost seeing like a first word I actually hear, which is again weird. I'm literally seeing somebody who's like Ukrainian or in a Ukrainian dress, and I don't even know if you're Ukraine. I don't know what this has to do with. So again, I kind of just need that clarification or confirmation so I can either just scoot it or follow it, because it just keeps it keeps showing it to me. It may not be Ukrainian, but I am getting some sort of authentic dress or garb, or like some sort of something authentic that's coming through. This could be it does feel like it could be a little bit more Eastern Europe. It could be Ukrainian, Slavic, something along that line. From Germany. Okay, well, that makes sense. It just feels so. France, Scotland. Okay, because the outfit that I'm seeing would fit any of those, but I'm not getting anything specific. Like the first word that came to me would have been more Ukrainian, but it also could fit any of these. Okay, because this feels older. So the first thing I'm actually getting from that. Oh, sorry. I'm trying. It's just something is really trying to come through here.
Well, it's
And
interesting.
what's that?
It's an interesting energy, that's for sure.
Are you getting it?
Yeah, well, the way I'm being shown right now is that you, Lucinda, have absolutely had some kind of communications with your guides, with spirits,
Mhm.
with source. You have been totally some kind of dialogue, some kind of sending stuff out. And either you like finally came to clarity about what you're doing or you abruptly stopped. And I'm not sure because spirit just shows me this like sort of jarring moments. And they're like, oh my gosh, why didn't you finish? Why didn't you continue? The other thing I'm being shown, I'll let Kathy finish here. I just only received these two impressions here, was that they're acknowledging the grieving process, and Spirit keeps saying that you need to finish that. It keeps
Mhm.
saying to put the final nail in the coffin and that you need to move forward from this. So they're acknowledging you having lost something. They're acknowledging the fact that they hear you talking, and they're working to help bring you new things. But you have to put that final nail in the coffin and finally put it to rest and put it to bed. So those are the two things that I'm picking up on. They very much acknowledge that you're communicating and connecting, but they're ready for you to take that final nail in that coffin. Again, that's the way it's being put to me. I don't know if you lost somebody specifically or something specifically, but they're showing me to put that to bed so they can finally bring in all these things that you're talking about with them and that you're manifesting here.
I feel like this person that I'm seeing, because they're being very, very clear about the outfit that they're showing me now. And so I am seeing like the white top. I am seeing the Ukrainian headpiece with the I want to say the ribbons that go down. So what I'm getting here is that this is a guide coming through. This is not now we have to remember that ancestors can be guiding, but they are not our guides. Okay. And I feel like this needs to be very much clarified. So no matter what your background is, it doesn't have anything to do with your guides. Like, they can be guiding, but not your guides. Okay. The guides are there to help you transform, or to help drive you, forward, or to help you with a particular, issue, whatever it is. They're there to guide you for your life. And this is what I keep seeing come through, because this guide in particular is making it very, very clear that she is like some sort of Ukrainian ancestry, which doesn't make a difference, but what it will do is it may help you when you envision her. Okay. When you get the help from her. So she's actually showing me in a dark hallway, or where she's surrounded by like darkness. Now, that doesn't mean anything. This is just a visualization that's coming through. So what is she is showing me here? It's to help guide you through this darkness. Now, this could have something to do with what Brandon was, picking up about, ending something. But I also do feel that it may have something to do with your psychic senses as well. And I feel like she wants to open that darkness to guide you through this. So as I look past her, what it's showing me here is some sort of connection to the other side. Okay. So you may have that ability to, well, I'm not going to even say may, you do have that ability to see the other side. But I feel like what she's telling you here is to not be scared of the darkness, because at the end of behind her is a light. So it almost feels as though you may have some sort of ability where you are like a beacon. Okay. A beacon to the spirits that have passed on. And so so right now she's sort of guarding that tunnel. Okay. Not guarding it, but she's standing in front of it, because I feel like she's going to help guide you through this process. All right. So when you get scared again, if you do see spirits come through, if you do hear them, you can ask her for the help. You can ask her for the protection. You can ask her to help guide you as you go through this process. And this can be as slow of a process as you want, or as quick as a process as you want. But just remember that our guides get very excited when we say, hey, I want to open up to the other side, and then they're going to like dump this whole dump truck on you. And then you're going to be like, what the hell did I just like, what
did I sign up
is
for?
going on
No.
here? So I always suggest to people, as fast as people want to sometimes learn, take your time, because each step is a process. And this is extremely important. It needs to be the process. It needs to be the step by step. It needs to be, trust me, you don't want all of the stuff that's out there to just kind of go.
Yeah, we were just talking about Hat Man.
Right? You want to take this step by step by step, because when somebody says, I want to learn it all, you know what? They're going to give that to you, but you're going to end up like cuckoo, and then it's a harder process to sift through all of the junk that's out in the universe than it is
Without
to
some
take it
help.
step by step by step and learn the process.
Yes.
Brandon and I have been doing this since we were children.
Yeah.
And even if we had breaks, but through that process, it's a hell of a lot of learning. There's a lot of deep dives that come through. There's a lot of spiritual awakening, shadow work,
Mhm.
getting smacked in the head. Literally,
Many
I've been
different
smacked a few
guides.
times. Like,
Yep. There's physical guides, there's ethereal guides, there's astral guides, there's spirit. There's so many different guides. Like, so many different things to go on. You just got to take it step by step, one day at a time. If you jump in the deep end, you might as well end up, in a psych ward or something, because it can be
That's
too much.
exactly it. I've had, I've helped people that, they wanted to learn more, but they're trying to rush through it, and it's
Take your time.
it's bloody insanity, because
Yeah.
now they're fighting demons in the dimensional world of darkness, and I'm like, okay, we're done for now. you you gotta find a different path here, because we're not going to, like, I don't, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no.
Or they end up on, you know, psychedelics. They could end up drinking. You can end up, like, it can be a bad path if you try to take it all on once. So ask
Yeah.
her, you know, to help guide you step by step by step, because I do feel that she's here for this. Okay. So I hope that helps, honey.
Thank you, Lucinda. Well, thank you, everybody. A rocking show today.
Yeah, good show.
Good energy,
Kayla, I
good
just saw that
vibe.
you came on Facebook. So next week we will be here next Wednesday at 6:00 p.m. Mountain Time. Make sure that you go to the Oracle Intuitions channel, subscribe there. We will be here next week, and you can, you know, it's either a $10 donation to get a guaranteed reading, or it will be put into the lottery, where we choose somebody or a couple of people, if we have time, at the end of the night. So guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure, Kathy.
Always a pleasure, Brandon. And you guys have a wonderful night. Take care, everybody. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, it's not ending.
I guess we're staying.
I guess so. All right. Bye, guys.